Good morning, everybody. It is, hello, Jamie Battles. We are another week. Another week. Another week. What up? John Wells. How are you, man? I am so appreciating more and more your photography as you're getting out there and putting all that the stuff up, John. It's very neat. Like some of it is just terrific. So it is bringing some beauty to the world. I love it. So keep on keeping on, man. So good morning, Donna. How are you this morning? Good to see you. I hope you are well, you and yours. Good morning, Robin. Hello, hello, hello. Robin Carden, Robin Carden, Robin Carden, everybody. Cheers. Here's to it. By the looks of things, Robin may or may not be bathing a corgi as we speak. That seems like multitasking that is beyond the pale of human endeavor, but it may be happening right now. So if she is, pray for her. So good morning, everybody. Good to see people coming in. Glad you are here. It is another week of 11/11, at least a partial week, because I am headed on vacation starting on Thursday. I will be gone for 2 weeks, so that we will be taking a break and taking a knee, and I will be back on the 27th of August. The 27th of August, we'll be back right here at 11/11 to continue our journey together. So. But tomorrow we'll be coming together to have 11/11 right here. Just finished. Very nice. Derek, oh boy, good morning. So we are in the midst of taking a couple weeks and taking a knee. Good morning, Shelby. So I hope the heat is bad. AC works. Yay! Okay for that. So that is great. So we are. So we will be. We'll be away for 2 weeks. We'll be doing some. It's going to be very low key, and we will be just hanging out here and there. So, good morning, Deb Votrin. How are you? How are you? Good to see you here. Welcome, everybody. So a few things this morning. I want to begin us with welcome. It is 11/11 at this day, this Tuesday, the 11th day of August. We have made it to the middle of August, friends. It's the middle of August. We have been journeying together. How exciting is that? And so, but we've got a few things that are going on this morning that I want to just lift you up and invite you in to pray about and to carry with you in these days. First, our friend Beth got bit by a dog the other day, last night, and so keep her in your prayers, would you? That is just it's an unsettling thing. If it's ever happened to you, it kind of gets you in a way that not many other things do, because there's this kind of attack from an animal and that sort of stuff. So she's fine, but offer her your prayers if you would. Also, our friend Stephanie Watson, who has been a part of this journey off and on, she is having surgery even as we speak right now. So I invite you to keep Steph in your prayers. I have known Stephanie since we were in short pants together. We were little kids, and so she's been a privilege to kind of have her call her friend through these years. And so this morning, as she's getting cared for and doctored up, I would ask you to lift her up. And also, John and Lori both contracted COVID, and they are actually both quite sick, but John more sick than Lori. Lori seems to be on recovery, but John is in hospital as we speak. He is the He is a cousin of Nancy Costa's, so I would invite you to continue to pray for John right now in these days. And lastly, I want to celebrate that it is Luke Donovan. It is his 6th birthday today. Woo, Lukey! So, and if you know Lukey, he is a force of nature, and he is we miss him in these days of being apart. But I want to make sure he gets the shout out of happy birthday, Lukey. So we are thinking of him, and I want to start us this way of just kind of gathering our concerns and whatever concerns you have as well, and the prayers that you're carrying in these days. Hey, Raylene, welcome. Good morning. So great to see you here. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Irene. It is a true gathering of friends. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are all well. That I want to talk. This is what I want to talk about this morning. Is this notion of being friends. We talk about the isolation that this time has brought, and what that means for all of us, and what that's meant for people, just right down to simple human touch, to what it means to journey with people and to be with people that you love, and what it means to be with friends. This is an interesting thing, because we think maybe we've been isolated with our family, or we've had our family over and they've been able to kind of have some contact and that sort of stuff, and as things continue to lessen, and as things continue to resume towards healing, these things will be. But I find that one of the things that have come out of this season is the value and the beauty of friendships and how powerful they are. And no one, and I think this, it bears it out right in the scripture. And if you think about this, I was thinking about this as I was chatting with Steph about her going into surgery, and what it is to rejoice with Lukey on his birthday, even though it's at a distance, and to be concerned for my friend Beth, and that when Jesus really wants to define his relationship with us, when he really wants to define it. If you look at the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and you look at kind of how all that laid out, many the synoptic Gospels, the 3, Matthew, Mark, Luke, those 3 are just the stories, kind of the descriptors around the edges about the nature of the relationship between Jesus and us, between God and us. Now, but you get to John, though, and it seems to be a qualitative description. You get these long sermons and long litanies in the Gospel of John about the nature of the love between the Father and the Son, and the nature of it, which is this mirroring of the nature of the love of the Son for us. So it's really about God's love for us, about how this thing works, and about how this is wired together, and this whole descriptions about the nature of all of this. And at the end of this, one of this grand descriptions in the 15th chapter of John, he goes on for pages. If you're a red letter Bible person, if you've ever seen one of those, that all of Jesus's words are printed in red, which I kind of think is neat. You get to this section in John, and it's just red after red after red after red. It's like this is what Jesus has to say about us, about the nature of our relationship with God, and thus by our nature of relationship to each other. And he said, and he says this in the 15th chapter, he says, I've told you these things, describing the nature of all this relationship. I've told you these things that my joy might be your joy, and that your joy wholly mature. That this is my covenant, that you love one another the way I loved you. And this is the very best way to love. Put your life on the line for your friends. I want to say that again. This is the very best way to love. Put your life on the line for your friends. You are my friends when you do the things that I command you. I'm no longer calling you servants. Often that gets translated slaves. I'm no longer calling you slaves. We're not in a subordinate position to God any longer. We are in this place because servants don't understand their master's thinking and planning. No, I've renamed you friends. I've renamed you friends because I've let you in on on everything I've heard from the Father. You didn't choose me. Remember, I chose you. Oh, so good. And the Rob Bellism, so good, friends. That we are not only friends, but we are chosen as friends by God. And this notion of friendship is at the very center and central to what it is to be a person of faith, to what it is to walk with God, what it is to be a human being here and now. I want you to consider that. And so all of this isolation stuff that we've been into or not into, all of the stuff that's going on, even the the mask wearing, I'm not suggesting it's not necessary. I don't want to have that conversation. That's for all of us to figure out on our own what level of what narrative you're buying into or not buying into. That's not my point. But what I want to say is one of the byproducts of what is happening to us is this limiting of our friendship, which is a mirror of our relationship with God. It is no small thing, friends. It's no small thing of what has been in jeopardy here and what has been suspended in some ways. So if you want to read more about this, read a book called The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. I think Lewis puts this together better than anybody else, and he talks about the four great loves of the church and of humanity. And one of them being philia, one of them being brotherhood and sisterhood, one of them being friendship is what he's talking about. And he has some, and I want to pick a few cherries from this tree. You're welcome, Robin Carden. So because they're just so good for us to think about what we're doing with our friends, how we're engaging them, and what really matters. And and he says that the first thing about friendship is that friendship is this co-locating of affections and loves. Like you're not just friends with somebody randomly. You're friends with somebody because you have this shared love, the shared worldview, perhaps, the shared things that you carry about. He says it this way. He says, the typical expression of opening friendship would be something like, what? You too? I thought I was the only one. How quickly does our shame and our hurt and our brokenness and our trials and our difficulties melt away when we hear that word, you too? I thought I was the only one. I'll talk about my friend Steph just for a sec because I think that's one of the keys of our friendship is that we both grew up in very similar ways. We both grew up on the coast of Maine. She grew up in Georgetown. I grew up in Woolwich. We went to school together. We had these similar formations in which that kind of you have a weird worldview, and it's not to say that you have a bad one, but you got a worldview that not everybody grew up on the coast of Maine, not everybody grew up in these ways, and there's this way that sometimes when we'll chat, there'll be these moments which we'll say, oh, I thought I was the only one, and it's one of the beautiful hallmarks of our friendship. Another thing that friendship brings us is this ability to get over ourselves. He says it this way. He says, friendship is utterly free from affection's need to be needed. He says, the mark of perfect friendship is not that help will be given in a pinch, because of course it will, but it is that when it is given, it makes no difference at all. That when we can be in friendship without scorekeeping, without what did you do for me last? What did I do for you last? And that it allows us to get beyond our very selves into a realm of eternity. And lastly, I wanted to say that This the way Lewis talks about it, and I think this is really important for our day. I think this is really important for our day, is that it's not open friendship. That friendship is actually an exclusive thing. Well, wait a minute. We should have friendship for everybody, right? Like everybody should be our friends. We should no, that's not true. You want to love everybody. You want to be joyous with everybody. You want to be kind to everybody. Pour the grace that has been given you on all people, stranger and friend alike. Absolutely. But true friendship is an exclusive thing. Lewis says it this way, and he's just so good. I could just sit here and read him, and it would be better than anything I'm going to say. But he says this: the little pockets of early Christians survived because they cared exclusively for the love of the brethren and stopped their ears to the opinions of the pagan society around them. Even if the common ground of friendship is nothing more than momentous stamp collecting, the circle rightly and inevitably ignores the views of millions who think it is a silly occupation, and of the thousands who have merely dabbled in it. When we gather with our fellow friends, when we gather with those whose heart beat with affection and affinity about the same things and the same way, it becomes exclusive. And in fact, it becomes so exclusive that it overcomes all allegiances. We talk about, why, like, I, as an army chaplain, I talked often and long about why people fight in the course of combat. And it's kind of almost an old trope at this point that eventually what ends up happening after a little bit of engagement with violence is that men don't fight for the nation. They don't fight for the ideas. They don't fight for the right. They don't even fight to protect the home front of those that they love, that they left behind. They fight for one another. They fight for one another. And that is the truth that gets borne out in combat. But friends, if we're not in combat now, I don't know what we are. We are in combat with ideas. We are in combat with a virus. We're in combat with all nature of things that would take us away from that common exclusivity of declaring for our friends. And this is not a return to tribalism, because you don't get to pick your tribe. This is a call to high brotherhood and sisterhood. And I think this time, if it's showing me anything, it's beginning to show me those things that really matter in this midst. So I've showed you this picture before, but I will show it to you again. These are 4 of my great fellow travelers here that I keep over my desk, and they encourage me every day, even if I don't speak with them, even if I don't see them. They are a part of my journey. Each one of them pastors, each one of them out there doing great things in the world, but they are the folks that I will go to bat for, regardless of what creed or nation or other person says. They are the people. They are exclusive to me, and they are a part of my high rebellion. And I think we need to re-engage our friendships. We need to be intentional about this, because there are a lot of things that are intentionally pulling at the threads of them. And so what is it that would hearken in? What can you do today or this week that would hearken in you that moment when you might hear somebody else say, "What, you too? I thought I was the only one." Or in that help that is given, that you might receive or you might offer, that nobody's keeping score of. Or that high rebellion against all other allegiances of just friendship. In these days where so many things, and that are pulling at them. I'm not saying they're intentionally pulling at them. Don't go down to that. And what I'm saying is that there are things happening that are pulling at these threads that would unravel the very foundations of heaven in our friendships. Remember Jesus' words. I have named you friends because I've let you in on everything that I've heard from the Father. Because you didn't choose me, I chose you. I am so grateful for each one of you on this thread that has been a friend to me in this journeying. Nearly every name on this, as I look through this, through those of you who are present today and those of you who will check in with this over the rest of the week, that have been a friend to me on the journey. You are an encouragement and you are a grace. And I hope you will continue to rally in your little corner of the world the encouragement of the great and the graces of your friends in the high rebellion of allegiances to all those other things out there which are not the foundations of heaven. All right, friends, thanks. We went a little long today, but I get fired up about this. I believe in the passion of it, and I love these people, and I like just talking about how much I like them. How about that? So tomorrow is going to be our last 11:11 for a few weeks. We will, and then also tomorrow night, if you're interested in checking in on our Bonhoeffer study, please come on in. Where it's very straightforward. We watch a video. We kind of discuss that chapter of Bonhoeffer's journey, and so I want to encourage you to be there if you're available. So with that, I really encourage you that to be a part of our journey through this. So come tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be special. It's going to be our last little our last little time till we spend a little time away from each other. But we'll be so if you can make it tomorrow at 11:11, I would love to see you here, my friends. Peace and grace.